we're live.
Greetings, everyone. I am Ben Jensen.
I am Sara Jensen.
And we are the co-founders, co-CEOs, and even co-parents of Hugh Grace, the company and the kids. And we are thrilled to be with you today. We were honored that Lupus LA would invite us to come and share a little bit about our business, but also our experience and why the topic that was so personal to us has impacted so many people in so many different ways. And we'll get to that in a second. But you know, when we talk about our company, we always start with why. Why does Hugh Grace exist? Why are we doing what we're doing? We do not come from a background. In fact, I should tell you the two-sentence overview of what Hugh Grace is. Hugh Grace is a wellness company that right now is focused on skincare and personal care. And it was founded on the basis of the topic of hormone-disrupting chemicals, and it's something that we learned about firsthand.
So, first of all, happy Valentine's Day.
She makes it more fun, and congratulations, go Rams! It's a big win. In fact, you're probably wondering, why are you in your bedroom? It's not our bedroom. We're in Los Angeles.
No, we live in Los Angeles.
Excuse me. Yeah, we're not in Los Angeles. We live in Los Angeles. We're in New York, and it's a lot warmer in LA. We had to go out and buy stuff. It's like 20 degrees here. So
we had a bunch of meetings this week. So we are coming to you live from our hotel room. So hopefully the Wi-Fi works this time. But so Ben said we started this company based on a very long personal struggle. We've been married for almost 20 years, and we spent 14 of those years struggling with unexplained infertility. During that time, we did everything we knew to do. We spent all of our money going to top doctors across the country. Did acupuncture and diets and therapy and fertility treatments, and nothing ever worked. During that time, we did a ton of research trying to figure out what was the environment, why could we not get pregnant, and we learned about a topic about this hormone disrupting chemicals, which will lead to our company. But the incredible end to the story is Ben's sister volunteered to be our surrogate and gave birth to our son Hugh. Then my sister volunteered to be our second surrogate and gave birth to our daughter Grace. So we have our two little miracles. They're 4 and 2. We just FaceTime with them before coming live. But it was after having our kids and saying, we know a lot about a topic that most people don't know about. And it's a topic that impacts everyone. And then also realizing that we had so many people sacrifice to help us have our family and have our dreams. And we said, what can we do to help pay it forward? What can we do to help create a solution to this issue?
Yeah. Sara touched on it. I mean, the topic of hormone disruption, and then the scientific term endocrine disrupting chemicals or endocrine disruption, is something that when we learned of it, it was very narrow to us. We looked at it as this is something that's preventing us from having a family. And as we did more research, we looked at it and said, wait, this is something that impacts everyone. We started looking at the topics, and there's correlations to cancers and a wide range of diseases, autoimmune disorders, which is why we're sitting here today talking about this. There are so many different correlations and causations related to endocrine disruption that we said we got to do something about this. This is actually a much broader topic. It's much more than just our struggle. It's the struggle of so many people. So we dived into the research. We started learning about the topic. We started thinking, if we were going to do something, if we were going to address this, how should we do it? How should it feel? How should it look? How should it act? And there were a few things that we laid down as a foundation. First of all, the topic of chemicals and hormone disruption can be scary. And we thought, well, we don't want to scare people. We want this to be hopeful. So how could we do something that is simple, that is easy, that could make a difference in people's lives? And that's what we set out to do. So Hugh Grace is a company that we founded with that notion. And what we decided was, well, let's approach this from the body's largest organ, the skin. So we set out to create simple products that were hormone safe, as we call them. And what does that mean, and how do we do it? Well, we looked at so many. There's been 100,000 chemicals that have been released over the last 40 or 50 years. Really, since gasoline production came online, since it became our major fuel source, you had all of these excess, pieces of those components that then made their way into all kinds of things. You petroleum jelly and fragrance and all of this. What's happened is there's been thousands and thousands of chemicals introduced into our products that have not been tested. And we've heard about this with clean products. We've heard about this in so many different ways. So what we did is we said, what if we went back to the natural environment? What if we were able to formulate natural products that had every bit of the performance as anything on the market, yet were clean and healthy? And the reason we did that is, we see so many chemicals out today that they look like hero drugs or hero chemicals, and then a few years later we find out that they're not, and that they're actually doing things to our bodies we didn't anticipate. But if we could go back to natural substances that have been used for thousands or even more, millions of years, that our bodies are accustomed to, we thought that would be a great start. So that's what we set out to do, and it's been a pretty incredible journey. So we've been in business for a couple of years now.
We officially launched last May.
Yeah, we launched in May, but we've been working on this, and we'll talk about our experience as a husband and wife co-founders. And it's been largely great, but it comes with some interesting things. So Sara, maybe we can touch on a little bit about. Let's start there. Let's start with the idea behind the products, and then move into how we kind of developed our business plan.
Well, so for us, when I was going through all my fertility treatments, I was given prescribed hormone creams, and I put the hormone cream on my leg, and the next morning I'd go get my blood work tested, and my hormone levels had spiked. And what I didn't fully realize, even at the time, is what you put on your body gets in your body. You think about the nicotine patch, the pain patch. And so we said, let's start with skincare, because what you put on your body gets in your body. Let's help the body. Our 3 product pillars are help detox, repair, protect. So while we do not formulate with these chemicals, we use glass packaging, we use paper packaging, we're really thoughtful. And we said, what kind of products do you use every single day that, first of all, will perform incredibly well, but also that are simple, that are easy?
I think on that topic of simplicity, as we're diving into the research, I mean, what the average woman puts on a lot of stuff.
Average woman puts on 12 products a day, which is roughly 168 chemicals. The average man puts on over 80 chemicals a day. And you think about that on your daily use, how many times and how do these chemicals interact with your skin, but also how do they interact together in your skin? And we said, if we can just make this, Ben's professional background, we both have master's degrees, but Ben was operating a wine company, and looking at wine, you sold some high-end wine, and so the company did. And so you look at wine, and there was a $5 bottle of grape juice, and there was a $5,000 bottle of grape juice when it's all grape juice. And so we kind of took that approach with skincare. How do we make things that are?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I came in with no experience in that space, and I had to learn quickly. And for me, I questioned that, like, why is this and why is that? And I quickly learned that there are amazing traits to certain places in the world, to certain qualities of the production and the product. And that notion is what we took with us. We thought if we could find the best that nature has to offer and put it together and craft it much as a fine wine is crafted, and we could do this in a way and bring it to market, that would be something that was special and unique. It would be performance driven by nature, and that's really what we've done, and that's the premise that we work from. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to interject that piece.
Yep, and then, so we have these amazing products. We have 5 products. So we have a morning face serum, a night face serum. We have a body oil that you use all over the body and lots of uses. The cleansing bar, you can use the shower, the sink, on your face. And then we just launched a lip mask. So it's a more hydrating lip balm. You can use it as an overnight mask. You can also use it all day. And these products are gender neutral. They're safe for babies, safe for pregnancy, glass packaging, as I mentioned.
Well, and I think that's one of our differentiators that's worth mentioning. We looked at it as outsiders to the personal care and the beauty space, even in the wellness space, and we looked at it and said, why are there 15 steps in a regimen? Why are so many different products being sold? Can we get excellent performance out of a simpler regimen, and then have that performance that still has the safety that your kids can use it? For example, our kids come in and get in our stuff. They're 4 and 2. Hugh and Grace, they're real people, and they're amazing. But we'll come in and our daughter will have whatever we have on our countertops smeared all over her body. So we wanted to make sure that if those were our products, we knew that they would be good and okay. So as an example, our lip treatment or our lip mask that just came out, there's no petroleum jelly in there. Why is that relevant? Well, what we put on our skin, up to 60% of it can get into our bloodstream. And what we put on our lips, we ingest. If you think about it, what goes on your lips gets in your belly most of the time. And what's largely been responsible for preserving our lips have been petroleum-based products. Petroleum, petrol. I mean, these are the same things that you use to make engine grease and gasoline. They're more refined. But we looked at that and said, man, this is the stuff that's polluting our environment. It can't be great for our bodies. And there are studies, but the simple logic behind it was, what if we could use natural ingredients and still get the same results, if not better? And so we went to work, and it took a long time and a lot of effort to put together a natural product it's vegan, it's completely safe, and it works amazingly well. Those are kind of what we wanted to differentiate ourselves, is let's keep it simple. Let's not make it overwhelming. This topic of chemicals and exposure and health, I mean, that can make you, we didn't want to create a culture of hall monitors. We wanted to create a culture of people lifting and making better choices and feeling positive about that. So that was behind Hugh and Grace.
We're take a step better every day. You know, our tagline is better than clean. And with that means we're better performing, but we're also better for you. And we talk a lot about hormone health. So hormone disrupting chemicals can sound scary and overwhelming and intimidating. And so we said, let's just talk about hormone health. What do hormones do? They help regulate your mood, your weight, your sleep,
well, and then
your libido.
They even control your autoimmune function.
And so we said,
the chemical messengers of the body.
And so we said, we can do this in a simple way, products that outperform everything else out there. Why wouldn't you want to use these first of all? But they're actually better for you and for your family.
So maybe let's pivot for a second and talk about the journey of launching a company, period, and then the journey of launching the company as husband and wife with young kids during a pandemic. Maybe that would be interesting. I don't know.
That was a question that came in.
That was put to us by Lucas. Where do we start on that? So I'll tell you my version of the story. She'll tell you hers. But you know, we had our kids, and we had tried, as Sara mentioned, for years and years and years, and we got to the other side of it. And Sara literally said, "Ben, you know, we know a lot about this. We should do something. I just feel like we went through so much, and there's things that we could do that may be able to help other people. If nothing else, we can bring awareness and education. If we could come up with some great products, we could help do this in a business fashion that would help perpetuate itself, right? So we wanted to be able to grow something with aligning ourselves with great people. So I was not interested in that. I wanted to stay safe and comfortable in my career. I wanted to enjoy our little family that we finally had. But as she talked to me about it more and more, and as we started thinking about it, we had the good fortune of good education and good networks and the ability to connect with people and to kind of get things done. And we thought, well, if we don't do something, who will? We kind of have a responsibility. And when we put it in that framework, we thought, all right, let's go. Let's get to work. And it took a couple of years to work out our formulations and our business plan and our strategy. And in March of 2020, we were just about ready to go, and our products were starting production, and then we all know what happened then. So we had a slight delay. It took us almost a year to really get launched the way we wanted to, but we got to learn a lot of things. When you're launching a business, you have to make sure there's a product market fit. You have to make sure the conversation you're having is a conversation that matters and is relevant to your customer. And we learned, when you say EDCs and hormones and this and that, it's scary. But when you say better than clean, or when you say simple swaps, that's something that we can handle. If we can make a little change in our daily routine that adds up to a meaningful difference for ourselves and our families, that's something people could get behind. And so that's really what the messaging that we wanted to focus on and take to market.
Go back to how it is to work with me. That's what you started with. You pivoted.
Well, when you go down a dead end, you go back the other way. I'll tell you, it took about 6 months. It took about 6 months to figure out how to work together. And one of the good things about us is we've been married and together forever, like half our lives. We're just looking at this. We have our 20-year anniversary coming up in May, and we're actually in the city that we got engaged at 20 years ago. So but we had to figure out, all right, what are your strengths? What are my strengths? Where's your lane and where's my lane? Where do we need to come together to make decisions? How can we operate independently? And then the challenging part it's not the challenging part, the tricky part with working with your spouse is you have all of this history. So you think you know what your spouse is thinking, which is never fair. You can't predict what somebody's thinking. When I say you, I should probably say I. Talk therapy now. No, I feel like I know what you're saying, and so I may draw a conclusion that's wrong, or I wouldn't do that with somebody else who wasn't my spouse. That's one of the challenges. But at the same time, we can get on the same page really quickly because of that same thing. We understand each other so well that we can work together or independently and both have each other's back. So I think the advantages outweigh the risks, especially if you've got a long-time relationship and you've been through. we we couldn't figure out how to have a family, but we navigated that. And went through a lot of pain and emotion through that, and so that gave us a foundation to deal with anything that came our way related to business. So how is it to work with you? Great, most of the time.
Thank you. It's Valentine's Day. He has to say nice things.
You look beautiful. Your hair's amazing. So, yeah, and it is weird when you're holding your hands in a business meeting, holding hands with the person sitting next to you, but it's okay. It's okay for us. So, yeah, I get to turn that around on you. And remember, it's Valentine's Day. How is it to work with me?
No, we got married young, and I always thought, how incredible would it be to start a business with my husband? We could go, and we love to travel. We could go and have that be kind of our thing. And so, it took us years. And the good thing is, we knew how to weather some really hard things together, going through infertility, and this starting a business has also been incredibly hard. But I say it's a dream. It's sometimes a nightmare, but more often than not.
I would never use that term.
No, but it's like the fact that we're here. We have meetings in New York. We can come early, and we bring our kids with us. We travel quite a bit. We actually just bought an RV, and we'll be touring the country this whole summer with our kids, doing this, building this company together, and sharing a really important mission. And that's been. I pinch myself saying this is absolutely incredible.
Well, I think there has been a couple of positive things about the time in which we started this business. The world was clearly upside down during COVID. So many things were so unpredictable. But what it forced each of us to do, I believe, is to reevaluate how we define work. Because all of a sudden, I wasn't going to an office anymore. In fact, we had just gotten ready to rent a co-working space. And we had a lease out in early March, and then obviously things changed, and so we didn't do it. But so we worked from home, and we've now what we've realized is we can get the best talent around the country and build a culture of people who are driven by mission versus just geography, and it's worked out really well. We have an amazing team, and these people we have virtual meetings. We get together at our events. We have a bunch of events we do for recognition and for education, and we have an advocate program where people can sell our products and earn commission, and we invest a lot of time. That's what we'll be doing as we go around the country, is just meeting one-on-one and meeting in small groups of people, educating them on products, and that was the premise, is we wanted to make sure if this is an education process, and if it's word of mouth, we want to make sure that we're rewarding the people who are having the conversations, and not necessarily an algorithm by a large company. We wanted people to be able to share what they've learned and their personal experiences. And it's turned out really well. We've been fortunate to grow really rapidly since we launched in May, and we're just trying to keep up with it. But it's as Sara said, it's kind of a dream. One of the things that we did before we launched the business that I think is worth sharing, because it changed our lives, is we get busy in our lives, and you just go, and you're looking at, I got to pay this bill, I got to do this thing, I got to get that done, I have to do this. And for us, we never really stopped and said, where's the destination? Like, what? We're busy, and we're productive, and we're making a living, we're making enough money and putting some away and doing, but what's that success mean? And we pulled back, and one year on New Year's we do this little retreat. Her parents are great to her parents are great to, let's see, it says our frame rate is too low. I apologize if you guys are
going to learn more and see what this says.
We're going to try to fix this, because we don't want our frame rate to be too low. I mean, she looks great. Yeah, that's not going to help us. Okay, we're coming back. Well, hopefully you guys can still see us. So, we questioned our thoughts. We questioned our patterns and what we had been doing. We said, what if money wasn't an object and we had no constraints? Where would we live? What would it feel like? Where would we go? How would our lives be? And for us, the conclusion wasn't that we would be sitting on a beach somewhere. Our conclusion was we wanted to be doing something impactful and meaningful in our lives, and we wanted our work to be part of our lives. We wanted our work to be part of who we are, and if we could do that, we could have our family involved, it'd be pretty incredible. So that's where Hugh and Grace came in, is We named the business after our children because they drive so much of what this is all about. Our goal is success, so that our success is experiences and seeing other people succeed. And it's been a great journey to just challenge the status quo, look at things differently, look at products differently, look at business culture differently, and kind of do it our way. And it's been thrilling. And the great part is, with our advocate program, we get to learn from people, largely women, all over the country, literally all over the country, in almost every single state. And they tell us what conversations and what topics are working for them. And we listen, and then we put that back in our marketing, and we put it back out. So it's kind of amazing when you have a conversation, you build community around it. So much of Lupus LA does the same thing. You have something that binds you together. Our topic is a subset. Endocrine disruption is a contributor potentially to autoimmune, and so that's, I believe, why we were brought on here. But when you have a community that comes together for a problem that's bigger than yourself, amazing things can happen. Of course, there's pain and frustration and health concerns, but there's also real beauty in people supporting each other, companies and businesses getting together over things greater than themselves. That's hopeful. That no matter what's going on in life, if we get to experience that, we've done something great.
I think it's great.
We've been on about 20 minutes. Let's see. What other questions? They wanted us to talk a little bit about specifics about. Here we go. Specifics about the topic of endocrine disruption. As it relates to lupus, as it relates to autoimmune disorders, if you can do a simple Google search. We don't like to get into too much on a prescriptive standpoint, but we love to talk about the general principles of health. And if we can approach our personal care products with a very submitted question.
Here's a few questions. Did you notice a difference using clean skincare right away? And if so, what were the changes you noticed? So I noticed, I always had terrible skin, especially during all my fertility treatments. I had cystic acne, I had melasma, so dark spots all over my face. And when I started switching, I always want the full face of makeup, the foundation, the powder, cover up. And so when I started using our products, and I wasn't using, at first it was simple. I was only using, pretty much a 2-step regimen. I washed the cleansing bar and put on face serum morning and night. And my skin is now in my mid-40s. It's better in my 40s than it ever was in my 20s and 30s. I only wear eye makeup now, where I used to have, a full face of makeup, where I would never imagine doing this. My pores are smaller, my fine lines are less.
I agree with all of those things. I have to say that carefully, but yes.
No, so just even the simplicity, that has been awesome and amazing. I'm looking at a few of the other questions. Best products for patients to try first.
That's best products for patients. That's a great question. For our products, what's unique about lupus, as I've done a little bit of research, is that it affects people in so many different ways. And so having a blanket statement, knowing that every case is individual and every case can be unique, is hard. We have our products are designed to be hormone safe. That doesn't mean that some person somewhere may have a reaction. We've had very, very, very few returns, and very few, but some people, like we have a macadamia nut oil in one of ours. Somebody with a nut allergy is not going to want to use that. But generally our products are great. People love them and reorder them. And we'd encourage you to try them. If there's anything that on the ingredients list, and we have them very transparently posted, that is an issue for you, I talk to your doctor. That's what we always point to, because they know the medical conditions. We know generally, and for almost everybody, the skincare works great, and we've had really positive reviews and responses.
What is your most popular product?
Well,
depends who's buying it, actually.
I don't know. It's been our night serum, but our lip treatment, we launched it and we sold a huge number of them in the first 5 days. Maybe it's because First 3 days. Maybe it's because it's Valentine's today and people were buying. We did a little lip campaign, which was really cute. In fact, our advocates, if you go to our social media, it's at Hugh and Grace, HUGHANDGRACE, at Hugh and Grace, you'll see a video with all of our advocates and their kids.
Several of them.
Yeah, well, a bunch of them sending in some of their, we call it like a kiss cam, and we put that together. But that one's taken off. I love them all. The night serum is fantastic. The body bar smells, it's like my favorite smell in the morning. The night serum is my favorite smell at night, and then the lip is it's fantastic.
I love the body oil. I feel like has so many uses. I use it as eye makeup remover, as a hair treatment, it's very versatile. So depending on what you're looking for, I said the night serum is incredibly luxurious and everyone absolutely loves it. And then
I talk about this. It was when we first introduced it. We were like, we've got to use it. We've got to stick with our products every day. And one night I was super tired, and I just said, Sarah, can you put the night serum on me? She said, yeah. I guess I'd been a good husband / co-worker that day, and so she put it on, and it was incredible. It was like the best experience ever. And so now it's not every day, but whenever I've been really good, she applies the night serum to my face.
We usually keep it on our bedstand, so I can easily do it. Although our 2-year-old daughter loves it as well. So in the mornings, if I haven't put it away, she'll want to grab it and we'll have to chase her. And
she loves our body oil, and so if she falls down, she says, "Mama, body oil."
She has a stomach ache. She wants body oil. If anything wrong, she thinks it's a cure-all. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So body oil for 2-year-olds cures everything.
Yes. Safe for your dog. People have said they have put it on their dogs. It's 100% natural. It's
we've never tested that.
Yeah,
so
it hasn't been tested on dogs.
Let us know if that's.
Actually, we've had a few of our advocates say that they put it on their dogs. So if it's safe enough for babies and during pregnancy,
perhaps. I don't know. All right. Well, let's see. Anything else? Your sourcing quality ingredients. Okay, our sourcing. So we work with facility. There are all these different certifications in the clean world, and there's these never lists, and there's this, and there's that, and there's EWG, and there's Made Safe, and all of that. We run our formulations and our products, and even our sourcing through databases that run checks against every single one of those, and each one of our facilities have a full compliance suite, FDA approved. All of these things we've done to make sure that we produce really great products, and we produce with people that meet all of the standards and exceed all of the standards. So our products are about as clean as they can get, and we source from reputable
really
sources.
high quality ingredients. We interviewed experts across the country.
We have a 6-page FAQ in our advocate site. We need to post that into the general site. Send an email in if you'd like to see it, but it has all the details.
We have a world-renowned medical advisory board that helps review. We have our expert formulators, but we also have outside quality assurance to make sure.
Right. So in addition to everything that everybody tells us, we hire an outside QA that does audits on all of the paperwork that they show to the government, etc. So we do our best. We're still a relatively small company, so we have to peer through that supply chain to make sure that we're getting the quality that we expect and that we market to. So that's what we do. Let's see what else.
All right, with that, I know
we're coming into 30. We should probably
say Happy Valentine's Day, and I think that was it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, we just dropped it. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing a few minutes with us. We really respect Lupus LA and are here to help. Thank you for your support of Hugh and Grace, and Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.
All right. What is